Okay, great. It is Thursday, November 19th, and it is time for the really big class. And I am just, you might be able to tell, a little bit excited about today's class. Um, First of all, we have chamber groups from Michigan, from Brazil, and from Manchester. This is my dream is happening right now. And we have Mary Peckham coming to us from Boston, and she is going to light up the next 2 hours of our lives in a way that you will never forget. And I just want to give you a little introduction to, I just maybe tell you a little bit about how I met Mary. So I went to the Cleveland Institute of Music for my undergraduate, and I stayed for a graduate degree there. And I I wasn't super happy to go to Cleveland, I have to say. I had started at a different school and my teacher changed colleges and I went with, and I thought, and I didn't know about Cleveland. I didn't really want to be in Cleveland. And then I got put in a chamber group, which made me very happy. I got assigned a string quartet and Mary was my coach. And from that first coaching, I don't remember what I played, to be honest. I should. Um, but I was like, okay, this is going to be fine. Everything's good. Here are my people. I know what I'm doing. This is going to be an amazing thing. And over the course of 5 years that I studied in Cleveland, I had the chance to not only have coachings almost probably weekly during that time with Mary. I also had the chance to read chamber music with her, and apparently I cooked you dinner. I don't remember that, but you do. I learned to cook in Cleveland as well as learning about the violin because there was no place to eat. So if you wanted good food, you had to make it yourself. Um, and I also had the chance, and Mary, I don't know if you remember this, I used to turn pages for Vivian Weilerstein. And in my first couple of years in Cleveland, you played together a lot. And I got to sit in rehearsals and be on stage, kind of a fly on the back of the stage for so many performances. And I learned so much from watching you play and rehearse and just your way of making music. So I'm just so thrilled that you're here with us today. And I'm going to let you talk in a minute, but I'm going to tell you one more thing just about a coaching that when I was in a professional string quartet, the Cypress Quartet, we came through Cleveland at some point and we played for you in one of the funny rooms in the settlement building, I remember. And I think we were probably complaining to you about a quantity of repertoire and like focusing on stage. That was the topic we were discussing. Like, how do you stay focused when you just have so much going on and so much repertoire to play? And I'll never forget this. You said to us, well, sometimes I just count. And you said it so matter-of-factly, and we all kind of looked at you like, well, yeah, you're counting. You're playing music. Of course you're counting. And we were familiar with the idea of sort of counting in a way that supports your music making. It wasn't just counting. And so we thought, is that what you mean? And we actually asked you, we challenged you, well, of course we're counting, do you mean in the characters? Like, no, just count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just count. And I can't tell you the number of times that in the 20 years that I played in a string quartet and I was tired or jet lagged or didn't know what piece was in front of me, that I would that I would use that and I would just count, and it would always bring me back. So thank you for that, Mary. We have some great groups for you today, and this is the really big class. So should we get going? You ready? You're allowed to talk now.
Okay, okay. Can everybody just for a moment unmute themselves? And I have a favor for you. I would love to be able to see everyone, unless you have to go powder your nose or something. If you could keep your video on. I don't even care if you're eating C strings from the Innsæi Quartet. I hope you're eating because you need nourishment, right? And everybody unmute yourself for a moment. I am so incredibly impressed and blown away by what Cecily has done. Would you please join me for a moment in showing her some latently awkward love? Thank you, Cecily, for doing that.
Hey, well done.
Woo-hoo! Great, bien.
Thank
So wonderful. So I feel so fortunate to be sharing the next hour or two with you guys and talking about music and chamber music in particular. So I think just really briefly, I'm sure, I don't know if in preparation you Googled me, so like I've played in a quartet, and I don't play in a quartet anymore. I just play for fun and occasionally, and I run chamber music programs, basically, one here at the New England Conservatory and also at a summer music festival, which ends up actually being year round as well. And Renee's son, his PM peer. So at any rate, I love it. And I love getting to know other people who love and are passionate about chamber music playing. And I so enjoyed listening and watching you guys and your videos that you submitted. Bravo. They're all really high level. They really demonstrate your passion and love and knowledge of the works that you're realizing. And anyway, that means a lot to me. So bravo to all of you for your wonderful work. I think we're going to start with the Quarteto Aporá. But before,
no, we're going to start with the trio.
All right, so never mind. You guys have to wait. All right, and the Innsæi, the Manchester, you guys can just finish your dinner. Or wait, I don't know what time it is there. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. So Daisy, Maximus, and Luis, just so you know, even though I am physically 58 years old, I am a great deal of the time about mentally 14 years old. So you might be more mature than me, but it doesn't mean that I haven't spent 40 years immersing myself in this art form and still learning from it, by the way. And I've learned a lot listening to your recording. So do we start first, Cecily, by reviewing their recording and then we can talk? Is that cool?
Exactly. So we will share their recording. Now, this trio, I'm just going to butt in one more time because they are coming to us from the Interlochen Arts Academy, which is a place that's very special to me. I spent 3 years there, and it's really where I found out that string quartets and chamber music was a great thing to do. I had a great quartet there. I'll never forget my first rehearsal in the basement of one of the dorms playing a Carabini quartet for David Holland. And I shocked one of the professors by insisting on playing the Brahms clarinet quintet my senior year there in the chapel where Luis is sitting. So I'm so excited that you guys are here with us today. Now, unfortunately, because of the new quarantine in Michigan, the trio can't be in the same room together, but they were able to be when they made their videos. So we'll share their video. We'll all enjoy their performance. We'll applaud for them. And then Mary will take over and have things to say. So here is it's the first movement, correct, of the Dumky Trio by Dvorak. Enjoy.
everybody unmute yourselves. Show them some awkwardly latent love. Woo-hoo-hoo! How are you guys? Wow, great to hear it again. I love it. Let me see. So I feel like, and even hearing it the second time, some of the things that I feel are your superpowers are your sound. Can I just, I'm a cellist and I'm mentally 14. So of course I assume that I'm related to everybody who plays the cello. So yeah, Maximus, what up? Love your sound, boo. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, Daisy, Louise, you have beautiful sounds too, but you're not cellists, so sorry. I feel like that is your superpower and we need to play to that. I think that's really great. I also, I felt what I think is so necessary for all music, of course, but maybe even especially a Dumky, is this total commitment to what you were doing. It felt like you were seeing it from your gut, from inside. And for that to come through on a video on Zoom says a lot. So bravo, you guys. I know it takes a lot of work to put something together at the level of artistry that you have. It's very well together. The ensemble is incredibly precise. And I also feel like it's very clear that what you're going for. I think what I just might do in some of my comments is offer some ideas of how to channel that amazing energy in a couple of maybe not so different ways, but just maybe magnify it. So the first thing though, I remember when I was a little older than you when I first got to know this piece. And I think I first played it when I was in my early 20s. So that means that I was probably mentally about 5. I'm kidding. Okay, good. I'm glad I can hear you laugh. Good. That's a good thing. So I just tell me really, if you wouldn't mind, you guys, I'm going to ask each one of you to tell me what is a Dumky? Let's start with the best. I mean, with the cellist Maximus. Maximus, do you know what a Dumky is?
I don't actually.
That's okay. How about you, Daisy? Do you know what a Dumky is?
I don't either.
Does it sound like it should be stupid? Sorry. Dumky. Okay. Not funny. Not funny. How about you, Luis? Do you know what a Dumky is?
I'm not completely sure. Isn't it like a traditional Russian dance?
So close. You definitely get some sort of prize. It probably involves chocolate. It is Slavic for sure. I think it's got its roots a little bit further west but still in Eastern Europe. And is my understanding, although I'm not a musicologist, I've just played a lot of these Dumkys by Dvorak because cellists, am I right? Dvorak is our guy. He wrote us our best song, or well, one of our best songs. Anyway, so every cellist has to love Dvorak, right? That concerto. I also love Dvorak though in a personal level because I feel like nobody does lonely like Dvorak. I feel like he's, of all my Western art music heroes, he really can get you. That being said, he was one of these composers that really kind of went into what was in the roots of where he was from and used that as an influence for his music. So he was from Bohemia, which is now like the Czech Republic, right? You guys knew that, yeah? Just nod. Just say, yes, Mary, we knew that. Come on, Daisy, Maximus, give me a nod. Come on, Louise. There you go. Oh, well done. Well done. Excellent. And the Dumky, I think, came out of a folk song tradition, or even sometimes they say a dance. But basically, it's like a ballad that can be like a lamentation that is then contrasted with interspersed joy or happiness. So this trio, in fact, is kind of an amazing response to, as was all these composers writing, representing their national styles. It was a response to trying to not be like all the famous German-speaking composers, but to come up with their own way to write music that would represent, their sort of folk music that they'd grown up with. And this piece is so brilliant because it's essentially like 6 different dumkas. So that's why it's called dumky. I think that's plural for dumka. So I'm just trying to show that I'm no dummy by knowing a dumky and a dumka. Okay, Daisy, I can see you nodding. Thank you, man. Thank you for that. All right, so I think it's pretty safe to say that you play that opening like a beautiful lamentation. I do want to ask you though, you guys, because when I was first played it, I didn't think of it this way. I thought it was that the cello had the melody. And now I don't think that. I think the piano has the melody. Were you thinking that, Luis? Were you thinking that was the song?
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, part of my being mentally 14 is I use the same lyric for all music. And it's based on a line from a movie called Napoleon Dynamite. For those of you that know that movie, you probably love it. For those of you that don't, you're going to just think I'm weirder than you already do. The line is by one of the sub-characters, brother named Kyle, who says, your mom goes to college. So all my lyrics are about mother telling us to go to college or school. So, hey, Maximus, can you give me a quick C? Just play it. Just hit your C string. I don't have pitch. I need that. So you're going, Mom said go. Mama said, is that gorgeous? You got him singing for you? Okay. All right. But I'm sorry. La-da-dee, is actually the song. That's the song. So Luis, I'm going to ask you to try something that may feel weird. I'm going to ask you to spread the triplet a little bit more. So it's like pulling in agony, like 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2. Could you just try it, Luis, by yourself once? That's great. That's great. The other attribute of this, and this is maybe subjective on my part, is that in this kind of lamentation, I think that there's a lot of sort of a feeling of it coming from your heart and your gut. So there might be lots of rubato. Rubato is, of course, a term meaning how you take time, how you move forward, how you take resistance against time. And it actually just comes from the verb rubare, which means to rob. So it's kind of like the Robin Hood of timing, Okay, not so funny. Daisy is now like not laughing. But so, Luis, I asked you to spread the triplet. But what if the left hand, those chords, was more determined and insistent and was like trying to say, no, keep going. I'm going to be determined about this. So I want you to be kind of feeling like you're stretching the triplets, like you're singing them like a lament. But the left hand is both the rhythm and the harmony, and very strong pillars of it. So try to be just a little more insistent. And I'm asking you to take a little time here and there. Try it one more time, Luis. Yes, absolutely. Oh, everybody give him a little love. That was great, Luis. That's exactly what I meant. And I know it may seem sort of subtle, but it's huge to me. Now, Maximus, the most important part, the cello part. So in a way, we know that this ascending figure that you've got is going to be very important thematically throughout the piece, even though it's not technically maybe the main song of the opening. So you, in a way, have to have the feeling of Luis's left hand. Dum, dum, dum. So you're kind of outlining this counter melody that's speaking to the triplets, but it's again just on the verge of maybe being insistent. Could you try that by yourself, Maximus? Right. That's nice. Okay, I can see the Innsæi, I can see the Quarteto Aporá, and I can see this amazing trio. And you guys, I'm sorry, the name of your trio, what's the name of your trio, yo?
We don't have one.
Oh God, okay, let's don't talk about it. Naming a group is the hardest thing on the planet. We'll talk later, okay? So one thing I noticed, Maximus, is that when I asked you to do that, I didn't feel the same commitment to your cue that I did when you were performing. So when I say I want you to be insistent, I'll do air cello for now. My cello's right down there. So, okay. So you're probably going to cue that with Luis when we don't have latency issues, right? But could you show me once how you would cue it if you were playing with Luis, and do the same thing, that insistent quarter I love. Fantastic. 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 Sorry. That was great. You guys, let's talk about cueing for a second. I really wanted to talk to you guys more about interpreting character, but let's talk about cueing. I have this little weird thing, and I don't think I did this, Cecily, when we were working together. I think I have this thing I call Uber cue. And I named it that before there was a taxi service named Uber, okay? So I just want you to know it has nothing to do with getting a taxi somewhere. Uber is the German preposition meaning above, over, through, right? And I sort of was always feeling like, you know, I love to know what's similar about all ensemble playing, okay? Now, for Luis, this won't apply to you because unless you have had the good fortune to be an orchestral pianist. But for those of us that have played in orchestra, we know that there's a lot of attributes of both large ensemble and intimate ensemble playing that are similar, right? And then there are things that are just not similar, right? And when we're playing chamber music, it's one person to a part, right? It's no conductor. So my feeling was you always want to contribute to your collaborators what you're feeling your inner conductor is. And the thing about that I noticed is that it leads one, if you're really cueing yourself with your inner, coming from your inner conductor, what your belief is about the rhythm and the tempo and the metric character, it can help you technically as well. Certainly for us string players, it helps so much with the bow. So if I were to count it expressively, not like a zombie, the way I told Cecily to count before. I mean, Cecily, honestly, it really was just so that I wouldn't start thinking about like, what did I have for dinner last night? What will I have tonight? Oh, I have to play a concert. 1 and 2, and you know, that's where that was coming from. But if you're really counting inside in with the passion you feel for the music, and it's a 4/8, right? You probably wouldn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Right? Yes, Mary. Thank you. Especially with the masks. The head nodding is huge. All right. So this idea of counting expressively is one way, a technique, if you will, that you guys can talk about rhythm tangibly. And it's leading to this inner conductor thing, I swear, to my Uber cue. All right. So if we were to count this, I think I would count it rather passionately. And so the way I would enunciate the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, they would have a lot of thrust. Probably if I tried to also imply the dynamic, so it's fortissimo. So 1, 2, that would probably be pretty loud too. Okay, I know this is slightly embarrassing, but here's what I want you to do. Daisy and Maximus and Luis, can you mute yourself for a second? Is it easy to do? No, they have to get up. Okay. Oh, apparently that's so hard. Luis is very fast. Daisy, you're highly skilled, clearly. Okay. All right. So I'm going to count, and I'll make a fool of myself because clearly I don't care. And you guys try to count along with me. I know that lately it won't work. That's why I asked you to mute yourselves. Okay. But I want you to do it with abandon. All right. Look at your music. Try to count in a way that enacts the passion or how you feel the musical character should be, okay? So I demonstrate a little bit. Let's try it together. I'll give you a measure because I like you so much. That's right. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, 1 and a 2, 3, 4, and a 1 and a 2, 3, 4, 1 and a 2, 3, 4, and a 1 and a 2. Okay, so I was counting subdivisions because I've been doing this for a while, but 40 years ago when I did it for the first time, I went 1, 2, 3, 4. What are you, crazy? So having just done that, could you cue yourself again and try to feel that in each of your bow changes, Maximus, in each of your quarters? Can you unmute yourself now, Maximus? Or Daisy, can you unmute Maximus? Can you unmute to the Maximus? Sorry. Okay. It's not funny. All right. And Maximus, try it again and really think about counting that way inside to be your inner conductor. Okay. Try it again. Wow. Maximus, sorry, stop. Sorry, Maximus. Sorry, stop. I just love your sound so much. I can't stand it. It's so beautiful. I mean, maybe you shouldn't play anymore because it's just too distracting. I do wonder, I'm going to get out my boy. My boy's name, though, is weird. I didn't name it. It's not my cello. I've been borrowing it for the last 20 years. Its name is Margot, but it's clearly a dude. So I'm even thinking, like, if I'm thinking 1, 2, 3. So, you know, I do those accents. So I might do something with my torso and Q so I can get a little more thrust on the F bow. Try it if you wouldn't mind, Maximus, but don't play too beautifully. I can't take it. Okay. Just that little bit of additional Q and way you use the bow is huge for me. Okay. Thank you so much. And then in a way, I know you're not using a bow, Luis, but you kind of feel the same feeling with the left hand, right? And then really lament with the triplets, even though, yeah, they have dots. I think that's so that they're very spoken. Luis, can you try the same thing with the opening? Fantastic. Luis, I don't want to mess up the way you play. I don't play piano, not even on TV. I actually play violin and viola on TV. That's a joke. Okay, not funny. But Luis, I'm wondering if you could feel even more of your big muscles from your back, maybe from the chair, going into the left hand especially. So it's like using all the way from your sit bone. Try to feel like the Q is almost like you want to stand up. That's how much thrust you want to go into that left hand. Can you try it one more time? Try that. Oh my gosh. Luis, you got to stop. It's too good. It's too good. Okay. So I feel like right now, both Maximus and Luis are kind of locking into more of their inner conductor. I don't feel like it's getting in the way of your beautiful instrumental playing. You're clearly wonderful instrumentalist. Oh my gosh. I have 5 minutes and we've done like 2 measures. I'm so sorry, you guys. So I'm going to jump. The Uber Q thing. Let me see. I've got a handout. Let me share my screen. You can see if you think it's totally stupid or you think it's cool. All right. So here's my shared screen. That's not Uber Q. That's not Uber Q. That's not Uber Q. That's not. There's Uber Q. Okay. So can you see that, you guys? Can you see it? Is it clear? Okay, cool. So what I have 5 steps before I start any piece. And the first thing I do is I just simply get myself centered physically and mentally. So that sometimes means that I just kind of close my eyes and focus on breathing. And then I start to sing internally what it is I'm about to play. And I try to feel that center, just like you just did, Luis, so brilliantly. And as I'm singing internally, I start to count in character, not like a zombie, the way I told Cicely to do 30 years ago, or however long it was. I mean, 15. We're not that old. So I'm centered. Then I'm thinking, 1, 2, 3. Then I prepare. And then I cue. So there's 5 steps before I even play. So if I were going to start that, and I know that I have to lock into Luis as well, I get myself centered. And I think, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, got it? Cool, great. There you go, that's Uber Q. My friends, if you and your teachers want that handout later, you can send me $1 million and I'll send it your way. Or just email me. I don't know if that's helpful, but the thing is that once you've started with that inner conductor being expressed, you have to do it constantly while you play. So let's jump for a second to Daisy's entrance because it's the antithesis in character. Daisy, when you enter in measure 11, you entered with such a beautiful, healthy sound, and it's such a scary entrance. I think all violinists wish they could be the cellist in this piece, right? So you can get your get moving right from the get-go, right? But you have to come in with that control. So can I ask you, Daisy, do you assign characters to the different music you play, like descriptive words or phrases?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. Do you have one for that entrance, by the way?
I think this one is like soft and maybe misted.
Soft and what?
Misty or misted.
Oh, I love that. Oh, girl. Daisy, where are you from? It sounded like you said South Urbana. Where?
California.
Where in California?
Northern, like north of San Francisco.
Like where?
Sebastopol.
Oh my God. Are you serious? I love Sebastopol. What up? Great bakeries. Sebastopol rocks. I've spent a little too much time in Sebastopol, frankly. Yeah. Anyway, my quartet always had a residency through that. Did you ever do Cecily the Redlands chamber music series in Occidental? It was the Northern California one where they grew all the pot.
We didn't do the residency, but we played in Occidental many times.
Okay, so they'd always have us go over and do a lot of stuff in Sebastopol. Sebastopol rocks, just saying. Yeah, go to Santa Rosa and then make a left and you go to Sebastopol. Anyway, cool. All right, so you're from, wow, that is so cool. All right, so you said soft and misty. I really like that. I'm gonna recommend for your comfort level that you try to channel your inner conductor a little sooner than you have been. So, you know, when he gets to, when he gets to the downbeat of measure 10, I want you to start trying to have your inner conductor get you in motion. So that you're already in motion at least a beat before you start to play. And it doesn't have to be huge because you want it soft and misty. I dig that a lot. I thought it could have been even softer. And that's tricky to do. Are you coming on a down bow or an up bow?
Up bow.
Oh, you just are making it so easy for yourself, not? Okay, but I love that. I think that's great. I think up bow is the way to go. It's just up bow is scary. Okay, but just do me a favor, Daisy. If you wouldn't mind, actually, Maximus, since you're in the same room, this is so cool. Can you just play for her from measure like 8? And Daisy, do me a favor. Once he gets to measure 10, already be feeling some sort of pulse. Get your fiddle up and get ready. Okay? Can we try that? Is that okay, Maximus? Well done. Well done, Daisy. Well done. I'm wondering if the bow shouldn't be closer to the strings. The only thing. Try it one more time. Maximus, it's pianissimo on the second beat of 9, correct?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's going to cover you there because no one else is playing. Sorry. That's not funny. Okay, I thought there was a little chamber music coaching humor, but it's not. All right, so even more vulnerable. Okay, one more time from the bar before. Thanks, Maximus. Yeah, I know. It's not fun when it's not quite in tune, is it? I'm sorry. There's so many things you got going on there. But that is how I would elide that feeling. So even though he's going to try to, I would say, Maximus, during that first part of your B, try to get it to a mystical point that it invites her in the character she wants to play. That was your pianissimo though, Maximus. Can we just say, like, the little shift you did from the F sharp to the B? That was painfully gorgeous. Like, really agonizingly sublime. That's what you want to do. So we haven't done a whole lot, and I know we need to stop soon-ish. Ooh, alarm clock going off. I'm going to be really mean. Cecily, you're not mean. I'm just a moron. So I'm not done. I've got 17 details. We're gonna go through them really quick. Guys, get your pencils and write them down. Ready? Come on. Dumky Trio yet to be named. I think you should become the 1891 trio. It was a good year. Theory wrote this, and it's 2 years before he came to like America. Why not? So your trio 1891, and people can ask you, what does that mean? You go, oh, well, of course, there was like a French World's Fair. That's why, in Paris. Yeah, no, who cares? All right. So cello opening for me, Maximus. I think especially if Luis is going to spread the triplets a little bit initially, when you have 30 seconds, I would try to be a little bit quicker with them. I like that they were full and I could hear them, especially the first time you have them, because it's anticipating his 30 seconds. And a lot of time, I think, in Eastern European musics, when you have quick notes that are pickups, they should be in the quick gesture of where they're going to. So it's not dee, da, 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 it's dee, da, da, da. It's really going to that next downbeat. So I would try to feel it that way. However, that being said, I have to tell you that when I get to 2 bars later, when I get to measure, was it 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, I also take time and spread a little bit those. But the first one I try to do in tempo. So I do the string crossing. I did notice you do, Mama said it go, Mama said. So I take a little time on the last one to make the fortissimo come out, which I thought you were doing too. And then I would say crescendo to the F sharp, Maximus, because that's where the hairpin is. And because you're going to intervallically, it naturally sounds softer. And this has to be pretty healthy, because in a second, you're going to go to that amazing vulnerable place you just went to. And then Daisy, for you, I really liked, Daisy, I really like this new idea of it being misty. I think you can be a little bit softer. Imagine your sound really emerging from whatever the B sound that Maximus goes to is, okay? Then, and then I think you'll have more room to get to the molto espressivo. So it's really this kind of, think of those 3 Bs as just kind of like, distant something, ominous, and then that's where you really turn it on, right? So you could even maybe use less vibrato on your misty pianissimo Bs. Maybe that would be a good name for the trio, the misty pianissimo Bs. You could have like little bumblebees as your logo. Okay, maybe not. And then cello-centric comment, measure 17. Maximus, I think you should start that on the D string, into a 1 on the B, 1, 2, and then cross to 3. So you don't have to do the harmonic, okay? Mom said go, and then go back down. Cool beans. Measure 26, y'all. I think you should hold that even longer, just to the point where we're a little uncomfortable. Like, wait, are they actually stopping? Didn't we just start this? All right, okay. And then after that, I love the way you created an anticipation in this next section. I love the way you play that, Luis. That was such excellent timing. But now, okay, controversy. Okay, measure 34, yo. Can we talk about measure 34, yo? Okay. I have a very fancy Czech edition of this. It definitely goes to a G natural in this Czech edition. I think the Baronronger keeps it on F sharp, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm just going to put it out there, just in the universe. Maybe you should go to the G. I go to the G, whatever. No one's going to die if you don't. And then after that, you guys at the Allegro quasi doppio movimento. I'm not going to lie. I think one of my favorite musical terms is doppio. It's just fun to say. Doppio. The cello has a tune there, right? And you guys are outlining the dance joy at him. So I would say Daisy, almost nothing on the second eighth note, but even longer on the accented eighth note. And and the same kind of Louise, I like the way you're doing, but a little bit more emphasis on the 2/16 slur. Like they're kind of an expressive slur, but very light the way you're doing it, which I dig. All right, I'm jumping. I know I'm out of time. Measure 35. Cello has a melody.
So out of time.
Okay, measure 35. Measure 69. Go to measure 69 really quick. Measure 69. Oh my gosh. Measure 69. Okay, don't start it slower. Yo. Okay, you regret it. I regretted it when you did it. I was like, what are they doing? Don't go slow there, because you got a retardando later, poco retardando at that. So if you like, mom said to go to college. Oh, mama said. Okay, cool. Measure 82. Can I be a little controversial again? I would not go slower there. I liked what you were going for. It's kind of dreamy magic. I dig that, but maybe not slower. So if that's okay. Measure 82. We just talked about that. Measure 96. String dudes, where are you? 96. Is that right? Yeah, 96. No, that's not right. Oh. Yeah, no, that's not right. Was it 96? I'm so sorry, guys. It's where you stop on the high note before you go on. I'm sorry, I don't have it written down correctly. It say it again.
95.
Is it 95?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Oh my gosh, Maximus, my brother. Thank you. You have my back. I love it. I feel like it was almost like a little bit of a Grand Canyon between Luis's last note and your pickup. And I don't mean an F-150. If anybody knows what I mean by that, I'm sorry. F-150 is the first of the series of large Ford pickup trucks. It is the Texas state car. So I would try to connect it more to what he gives you personally. So you have that's one place I wouldn't, even though I admired how you had breadth there, you're young people and you had breadth, what's going on? And then measure 103, yo, that needs to be joyous. And that's one thing. I know that sometimes it's hard to pull off positivity in music. Technically, I think it's about bow speed and vibrato, a lot of that. So, but also throughout this piece, what I asked Daisy to do before, when you have the eighth notes with one note accented and one note unaccented, I would say long, short, long, short, long, short, really bring out that and do it, I think, again, with maybe more bow speed and vibrato. So it's actually going to sound more positive, perhaps, than if it were just vertical weight. I just needed that to be joyous. So if you wrote joy there and you try to look joyous, like channel your inner Meryl Streep and be joyous like Meryl, chances are you might play it joyously. You may not actually feel joy, but you got to fake it. That's part of our job as musicians. So I got to start. I'm really sorry. I'm so sorry, but bravo, you guys. Bravo.
Thank you so much.
Interconductor. Oh, maybe you should be the interconductor trio. No, that sounds too much like you're going to work for the electric company. Never mind.
Okay. So I told you all.
I need to thank you. I'd just like to just step in and thank you for this terrific experience. This has been really great. It's been great to meet you. I cannot stick around to because I have something else at 3, but thank you very much for everything. And I do want the ensemble, if you don't have a class, I suggest you stick around also, but some of them might have a class too that they have to do. So my apologies if that's the case. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Lemonstill.
So I think they do have class, which is just such a crazy thing. They can't play together, but they have to go to class. But stay if you can. And I'm so sorry to move on.
That's because we're a very classy institution, you see.
So we're going to move to Brazil. We've got Yoda with us. I don't know what that was about, but I'm glad he's here. And are you guys ready? It looks like they're ready. We have a movement of Smetana from his life, from my life. Seems weird to say from my life when it's from his life. great quartet. And Mary, just so you know what our time constraints are, because I didn't know this until just now, and it's actually quite important. Our quartet in Manchester, they have to stop at the top of the hour because their neighbors will complain, believe it or not.
You mean at 3 or 4 my time?
At 4 your time.
Okay.
So that's sort of our end time for them, which is great to know.
We'll be done by then. I'm so sorry.
So we're going to hear some Smetana now. This is a piece I have never played but always liked. And this quartet is coming to us from Sao Paulo. I'm so excited to have them here. They formed in quarantine. Is that right, guys? Just nod. And they were inspired by the Illumina Festival and to become a quartet. And let's listen to them play. This is the Smetana.
Wow. Unmute yourselves, you guys. Show them some lately awkward love.
Woo!
Oh. Wow. So I'm gonna, I don't speak Portuguese, as you know, except for obrigado and like dois, sorry. But I say I'm sorry a lot. In Portuguese, is that eu sinto muito?
Sim, eu sinto muito.
Eu sinto muito. Okay. So beautiful. So beautiful. And I feel there were some aspects of your performance that were the favorite, some of my favorite I've ever heard. Yeah. I've listened to the piece a lot. I've only played it one time. Cecily, it's a piece that's hard to program because sometimes presenters don't take it. And I didn't play it with my quartet. I played it with other people, but it's muy difícil. Sorry, that's Spanish. That's not Portuguese. Yo siento muito. So how many of you feel comfortable with my English so far? Am I going too quickly?
No, it's great. We are here with Jennifer. He is helping us.
Oh, Jennifer, hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you for everything you do, Jennifer, by the way. I'm going to tell them their superpowers now, Jennifer. I feel like as a group, I love the way you guys listen to one another, really listen. I love the way you really are precise with the vertical lineup of everything. And I also feel like this is such a difficult piece in terms of it keeps asking you for more and more and more sound. Yes. And it's hard, right? Because it's like, okay, I was just playing, I gave you my whole heart and now you want more? Sorry if that was too fast, especially for my, for you, Santo, my cello brother. Yes. Right on. Yes. Yes. Okay. So many beautiful things. So there were two things that I was thinking in the sort of a general way to talk about. One is the word lilt. Hi, Jennifer.
I'm sorry, I'm going to go to the other side.
I like it. I liked it. I like seeing you, crawl across the screen.
On the floor?
Yeah, Jennifer, what's the Portuguese translation for lilt?
Não sei exatamente. É
You
como
rastejar.
entre aspas. É como uma. Não é vertical, mas tem movimento horizontal. Isso mesmo. É como saudade. É lilt.
Okay.
They know how to lilt because everything in Portuguese has lilt. Because they talk like this, not like this.
I'll try to have more lilt.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So I have a theory. That there is a characteristic for every time you play in a triple meter.
Metro intercimas. Sempre tem uma característica.
Thank you, Jennifer. Keep doing that. I like it. Très much. Okay. Yeah, I know that that's not Portuguese. Hold on one second. Where's my thing? All right. So do you remember in the last group, I was doing expressive counting. Do you remember that, guys? Like, okay. So for a second, hold on. I want everybody, not just you guys, everybody to bend one of your arms and make your wrist really limp.
So,
Like,
o pulso sem tensão. Como isso?
Brenner? Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, muy bien. Yeah. Okay, cool. So everybody do that. And let's just I want to find one, and I want it to bounce like you're doing a yo-yo, kind of one. Okay, maybe a little fast. Now I'm going to make a circle from that bounce. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Try it. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm a little fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great. That's great. So in other words, each beat in that character has a character, and it's an agogic character that each meter has. So I'm trying to demonstrate on my cello. So it's an A flat major, right? Do you have a time? Okay, never mind. Wrong song. So if I'm thinking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That means that 2, 2, and 5, no, 2 y 4 are responding to 1 and 4. Sorry, wait. 2, 10, right? 2,
10. 2.
2.
You better stick to
Yes.
English, Mary.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll stick with the English. I thought I could pick up the Portuguese. It's not happening. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. So you can see that 2, 1, 2, 4, 5. 2 and 5 are responding to that buoyant circle. So. And then the 3rd and 6th beat are pulling us back to gravity. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm a little fast. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm exaggerating a little bit. Could you guys play from where the first violin comes in and try to subdivide 8th notes? So like, so Felipe, like. Is that the right rhythm? Do you have a 32nd or is it a 16th? I'm sorry. Can you try that all together? So play your part. So for Brenner, it would be right, and for Gabrielle, it'd be. You get it? Okay, let's try it out together. Have you done this before?
No.
You're kidding. I've never, ever had a group do it so well the first time. Bravo. Bravo. That's really wonderful. Okay, so I realize that you probably want to feel very long lines, yes? Especially, so maybe that subdivision is something that you don't necessarily want to be apparent, but it can very much help the way you touch the instrument. So on that C, if you kind of feel like there's a vulnerable feeling in your vibrato, but it's linked in a way to those 8th pulses. Thank you, Jennifer.
ritmo. Mas não é obvious. Yeah.
And this, I would say in a way, probably for you, Gabrielle, yours is. Your part is one of reassurance. Yes. So you're definitely, you're fifth man. You're the fifth in the chord, right? So there's something spiritual about the fifth, right? And you also have the chromatism. Can you and Felipe play this together as written, not with the eighth notes, but feel them and really play to each other like you have one brain? Try it. Like, look at each other. Fantastic. Bravo. Thank you. Well, Gabrielle, unfortunately, I think you need to do much more of that in the piece. The second violin part is the most difficult and the most important. Everybody else wears 12 hats. 12 hats. Oh, hi. But Gabrielle wears 16 hats. So a good quartet can only be great depending on who's playing second violin. And your job, one of your additional hats, is to have that connection from the viola and cello to the first violin, and to also make the first violin feel enabled. They can do anything. And your line is very much like that. It's a yes. It's a yes. It's yes and. So it's yes and yes and yes. Every time you have that motion, you want to give him a reassurance, okay? So please try to do that more. In a lot of ways, I feel like your part, Brenner, is very difficult, but so typically viola, right? You have one note, and it's you have to color it differently, even though it stays the same pitch. It's like an axis. It's changing. So maybe at first your A flat is important over here, but then it's over there. So it's always, this is your A flat, and it's there, and then it's there. So sorry, I can't see it very well. But
não é sempre o mesmo ano. So, é forma de corda. So, talvez mais baixo, talvez mais alto.
Okay.
could I hear the 3 upper voices try that together? So Gabrielle, play right up to Felipe's left hand, and Brenner, keep sending and coloring your note so that you feel the harmony with them. We lost Gabrielle.
We just have a slight technical issue. Just give us 1 second and we'll fix it.
Okay.
Electricity is.
Oh, that's lucky. Hey, while they're doing that, Santo.
Oi.
Hey, Santo, my brother. Santo, can you play the cello and sing?
Você pode tocar e cantar ao mesmo tempo?
Acho que posso.
To go back to school. Can you do that? Bravo! Okay, this is, I think, that it's much easier to do that on the cello than the violin or viola, by the way. But when you're playing a pedal, you have to do that all the time. So you have to think like, decide, should I go with that? Should I provide a soft cushion? Should I be a solid surface like a rock? Should I push? Should I have give like a magic carpet? And I want you to feel like your vibrato is very much connected to this as you play. Let's try everyone, okay? Is it okay now, Jennifer?
I think we're good.
Awesome. Thank you. No. Gabriel. You have to look at his left hand. See, look at his left hand, like, okay, look at it, and then be like, almost, it'll be like you're gonna bite it, okay? Gabriel, OMC, that was amazing. You have to do that all the time, okay? And Brenner, that was so interesting because sometimes in the video, you would play out, but it was like you weren't listening to what was going on in the other part, like you were just providing a solid, this had some give.
Alto, mas não tem conhecimento dos outros, mas agora foi muito bom.
It had lilt. It had lilt, and it was more related to what I felt Felipe was giving you. Yes? Bravo, my bracha brother. Now, cello brother, santo, mwah. Okay, if I were you, I would be a little bit more obsessed with the melody. So always look to him when you're, my mom said to go. Okay, the whole time, like your A flat wants to love him so much. Say, yes, my brother, yes. So he's saying yes, you're saying yes, and, okay? So this is something that for many years, I played with a philosophy that I called live, breathe, and die. Okay, Jennifer, that's weird. Do you want to tell them what that is?
Por muitos anos ela tocou como filosofia que viver, respirar, morar. But you have to explain what that means.
Yes. So I tried to play so that I constantly knew who I should send my energy to and from whom I should receive my energy in the group.
Então, tocar com conhecimento onde ela dar a energia ou outra vez receber a energia.
Now, for the last 10 years, I try to always use something I call hyper empathy. You understand? Okay. So what I do, you guys, is I try to feel like in my own body when I play, there's empathy between my right and left hands. It's always active and my core feels it. I'm never. Does that make sense? So I have the lilt inside me and I've connected across my hands. And I'm always singing one other part in my mind and trying to hear that part more than myself.
Sempre canta outra parte também sente no corpo. Dentro do corpo.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Definitely get chocolate. So Santo, when you did this, you have to do that in your mind and try to lead your vibrato with that lilt with the probably 16th notes, but then very much being hyper empathetic to Felipe. Listen to what he does and decide to try to what you want to do with your sound to either go with him or to help lead him. Okay, so there should be a little bit more pulled resonance in your sound, not quite as, you weren't playing like that, but you know, so it's using the bow speed. Yes, see, thank you. Jennifer, do you want to, is that cool?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, thanks, Jennifer. All right, so basically, when you're playing with hyper empathy, you always try as an exercise to look at the person who you're singing in your mind, okay? And this especially, sorry, Gabrielle, it's very important for you. Yes, my friend. There we go. Cool. So let's try the whole phrase. But wait a second. Time out. The hairpins. The hairpins. Jennifer, can I ask you something since you coached them so beautifully? Were you ever talking about using hairpins to kind of indicate possible rubato?
Yes. Yeah, we talked a lot about what hairpins can mean.
So in music composed before like 1801, hairpins are about breathing, their size. Like this is a and this is a and this is a right? But after 1801, they're moans. So it's and this is and this is right? It comes from deep in your gut, yes? And it also can help influence how you feel rubato. So, for example, in measure 8, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Do you hear? There's a little forward and then a little back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Très bien. Let's try it. Tutti Frutti Oh Rudy from measure 7. Oh, and look, hyper empathy. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. And you know, Felipe, you must inspire them. You must inspire them. Yo siento muito. That was amazing. Can we show them some love? Love. Serious love. So I think it sounds different to me. I know it's hard to tell on Zoom. Beautiful inspiration from you, Felipe. Beautiful yesing from you, Gabrielle. And the pedal sounds very different to me, Santo. I also, Brenner, dude, I love the way you're being the axles. Yeah, it's very cool. Now, I love the way you play this right here. What is it? Poop on a Trisket. At measure 15, I love that. I love that. I feel like you have motion in the E flat major. Is there a problem? Okay.
I'm sorry.
Not at all.
Mary,
I know I have to stop.
you do.
It's so bad.
You can talk while this is
Oh.
Okay. I'll try to wrap it up. Obviously, I gotta.
Your entrance is happening. You can talk.
Hi. Good to see you. Hi. So I actually think you guys, you play at such a high level that if you just really tried to always play through each section with this hyper empathy, force yourselves in rehearsal to look out of your part twice per measure at the person you think is the most important line and try to give and respond to that line constantly.
So, duas
It
peças.
changes the way you listen, I think.
Muda o jeito
I'm gonna
de-
push you, Mary. Sorry.
Okay, once I'm just waiting for her to say. And also, I feel like it changes your technique. Your touch is much more beautifully vulnerable, and I hear more variety of color and vibrato and bow speed, and it's so beautiful, so beautiful. Maybe I can email you guys my stupid detailed notes. They're very hard to read, but anyway, I loved it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bravo. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys. Bravo. I love the picture too behind you. It's
Bravo.
perfect.
Great.
Bravo, gentlemen. I was weeping as you played. So
Bye.
beautiful. So now we're gonna go. I'm very sorry to move us on, but I don't want to get my dear friends in Manchester evicted. So so we're gonna hear their video. I'm wondering if we should stop it because the first movement of Rosamunde's about 10 minutes long. So maybe we should just hear the first, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
And Mary's seen the whole video, so so I think we'll do that. Mark can just pick a spot, a tasteful spot, hopefully, and we'll stop it there, and then maybe, I mean, we can go a few minutes past 9 if you like, but just they can't play past 9, so that's for your time. All right, so here's the first movement of Schubert Rosamunde.
Gosh, wow. Everybody mute yourselves. Show some awkwardly latent love. Bravo, you guys. Bravo. Innsæi. Woo! Bravo. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. It's just such sublime stuff, this piece. Thank you, you guys. Beautifully prepared. Thank you for the lights. I have a couple of things. I feel like your groups, some of your superpowers for me are the warm tone. And oh my gosh, is that a good one to have for this piece, you guys, you know? I also love how you sing everything, you know? And of course, when you're playing music by leader composers, that's so important. And I really appreciate that. Again, also very precise ensemble, great listening. There were two things I thought might be interesting, sort of broad topic things. And one is very controversial, so I'll save it for last in case we don't have time. Because, you know, I don't want to be controversial. Oh God, that's controversial right there, trying to do a British accent. I've learned many years ago that I should never do that. You guys know the violist Roger Tapping? He's the violist in the Juilliard Quartet. He's from Great Britain, and about 15 years ago, I was doing some announcement for a camp, and I tried to do an English accent, and I like, so today we're going to have chorus at 5, and I said, oh, sorry, Roger, I was doing that English accent. He said, oh, were you? I was like, okay, got it. So I just stick with my hillbilly. That works real good. I just go, hey, how's it going there, y'all? That's pretty safe. So the first thing was I just want to talk about the dynamics in this particular movement. Are you guys working on the whole piece, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Isn't it like one of the hardest pieces you ever played?
Yeah.
I mean, it's so hard. I mean, you wouldn't know it by the way you play it, but especially for me, the third and fourth movements are very tricky. The first movement's so easy. I'm kidding. So I want to talk about dynamics because the two main themes start out in pianissimo. And pianissimo for me is perhaps an indication that you have to do something spectacular. You know, anytime you get more than a couple P's, you should probably go for something that's mind-blowing, right? So let's see, it would have been May of, oh my gosh, of 2000. Whoa, maybe, yeah. My quartet, I was in a quartet for about 32 years, 9 months, 6 days, 4 hours. No, I'm kidding. But I was in a quartet for a while, and we were preparing for our first Bartók quartet cycle. And we were having coachings very regularly with this musicologist who was a Bartók specialist and a brilliant guy and just a very kind-hearted person. And I think he went over like every note of 4 of the quartets and every phrase of the other 2. And at one coaching on the 5th quartet, he said to us that the dynamics are the composer's emotional palette. And that really struck me when he said that, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So on the plane ride back to Cleveland, which, by the way, Cecily does now have decent restaurants, but you're right, it didn't when you were a student there. I'm so sorry. Thank God you and Tom made me that curry. So I was thinking about that, and I started to write out what I call my dynamic key. And I noticed that what I did was I tried to figure out, like, for dynamics, is a certain thing every time I see one, even if it's a piece I've never played before, that I can think other than just a volume or the word piano or pianissimo or mezzo piano. So I came up with this key, and I'm going to share it with you because, you know, I can share the screen real good. All right, now I want you to take a look at this now. Okay. Can y'all see that now? You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Mary's dynamic key. She's got a title, it's very obvious, okay? And I have pianissimo, and they all have cool fonts, right? Piano is singing, mezzo piano is aware, mezzo forte is confident, forte is proud, it's an attitude, and fortissimo is everything you got. Crescendo equals create anticipation and suspense, and decrescendo means uphold and then release. I think a lot of times we see decrescendo or diminuendo, and we just play softer right away. You got to remember that a lot of times that's a point at which you need to have a lot of energy from which to dissipate. But anyway, so you notice that for my pianissimo, I've got 3 categories there, okay? And I have found, and even in I've changed this a few times. I've gotten some great suggestions from students and colleagues, but I have found that these categories of pianissimo have really worked no matter what music I'm playing. And I'm going to try to demonstrate them technically for you guys, although I don't know if this will translate on Zoom very well. But you can see that the first one is a distant pianissimo. So you're like, Mama said to go to college, Mama. I can't play that one, sing that. I can't do that part. So I'll just do it on an A because maybe this A. So when I think distant, I think of a color that's a very low overtone color. So my bow placement is almost on the fingerboard. Oh dear. You guys, just in case a large cat starts walking around the camera, I adopted a 12-year-old rescue cat about 11 days ago. His name is Spencer. He's like 24 pounds. He's huge. He's like the greatest. Anyways, my new roommate. And he has suddenly got active, and he also talks like, wow. So anyway, so distant, I want to get that low overtone contact point, right? I probably am going to use a very even, slow bow speed, hardly any weight at all, and probably littler. Oh my God, he just tried to get in my cello case. No, Spencer, I've had a problem with that. I'll tell you in a second. No, Spencer. Spencer, you got to get out, buddy. He's like 25 pounds. Come on, Spence. He's not leaving. Okay, years ago, I was getting a coaching with Arnold Steinhardt from the Guarneri Quartet, and his cat Mo peed in my case. He peed in my case. I'm traumatized by this. No, Spence, you gotta get out. You gotta get out, buddy. You get out. He's not moving. Okay, sorry. Oh my God, please don't pee. It's like a $2,500 case. Sorry, y'all. All right, so distant pianissimo. Float the boat, a little or no vibrato. Try to make the sound as though it's very far away. Now, I don't know if that translates. The intimate pianissimo, you guys, is probably the most voluminous. Try to imagine what it's like when you go to hear live theaters, like especially somebody doing like Shakespeare, and they do the stage whisper. And it's not really whispering, but the enunciation is so much more intense. One of my very best friends, Vivian Weilerstein, who Cecily knows well from page turning, she's a close talker, and that's the way you play intimate. So you have the contact point a little bit closer to the bridge, but not a full encore. You have vibrato, wide but not too fast. So it's again sort of vulnerable, intense, as opposed to piano, which would be here. I don't know if you can hear the difference. Can anybody hear the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. What a good answer. I love you guys. Innsæi. Okay. And then finally, the suppressed energy. Try to imagine that you're at some public function with a large group of people that's all focused on one area that's happening maybe on a stage or an altar or something. And it's come at a moment where everybody together is getting very quiet. Whatever's happening on that stage, it could be chamber music or an art song, is getting so quiet and nobody moves. And you realize that in a second, whatever happens up there could change your life. And you look down at the 2-year-old child that you brought with you to this event, and they're looking up at you going, and you go, no. And that's what you want to do with the sound. It wants to sound like it wants to emerge, but you will not let it. So you go back to that low overtone contact point, but this time you do a fortissimo vibrato without crescendoing. It's very difficult. So the sound has energy. It wants to emerge, but you're keeping it suppressed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I would love it, you guys, if you could just do an A minor chord. How about if we say, Alex, why don't you take the low A? And how about Beth, why don't you be fifth girl and play the E on your D string? Is that cool? And then is it Ellie?
Yeah, that's good.
Yay, Ellie. Is that right? Hi, Ellie. Why don't you be third girl and play the C maybe on your A string? Is that cool?
Yeah.
You're a nice person. And how about Alice, take the A on your E string. You'll be upper octave girl, okay? All right, so I want you guys to try first the distant pianissimo all together. So float the bow almost over the fingerboard, very slow, no weight or pressure, and hardly any or no vibrato. Can we try it? It's a long, slow bow. Yes, bravo. That's fantastic. Now let's try the intimate. So now your contact point will probably just start to make its way toward the bridge, but not very close at all. Still just off of the fingerboard, just a little below it. And with vibrato, wide, but not too fast. So it's a kind of might have a sort of like an intense nobility to it. Let's try it. Intimate. That's pretty good. It's not working as well over Zoom. Try a little bit more. A little more width in your vibrato. Yes. Aha. We're getting it. Thank you. Thank you. Bravo, bravo. Okay, finally, let's try the most difficult one. Let's try suppressed energy. So get that bow back like the way you had it. Back like the way you had it. Sorry. For that there distant, go over the fingerboard and no pressure and really float it and really slow, but then make it like fortissimo vibrato. Okay? Okay? Let's try that. Hard. It's hard. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. Now, these are sort of simple categories, I realize, but what do you think of those three categories, which you, at this point, you've been living with this music, you play it, it's in you. What do you think the opening, which category would you pick? Let's start with you, most important, cellist, Alex. What do you think?
I think intimate.
Can we let's try the opening intimate, okay? Let's play, how about if we play, my mama said to there, to go, just up to there. You know what that is? Can you tell from my singing? Sorry, I'm realizing. My mama said, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let's just do, you know what? Let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's just do the first 10 measures. Intimate pianissimo. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I love that. I don't even want you to try another one. I'm sorry. You just sold me. For grins and giggles, you guys, do you mind writing that into your part? Just write intimate over the beginning, if that's okay. Thank you. Give you a moment to do that. And then I would just like to look at the next pianissimo that I have in my score. Unfortunately, I don't have measure numbers, but it's where the first violin starts sort of in E major-ish with the triplets. You know what that is?
Yeah.
What I just did? Now, since that's really all about what you're doing there, Alice, do you have a sense of what kind of pianissimo you might want to have there?
Maybe more of the kind of suppressed energy. I think there's quite a lot of energy behind it.
All right. I tell you what, let's get into it. And then why don't you try that there, if that's all right. What's a good place to start? Is it like maybe right after the chords?
Yeah.
Mom, said to, cool. Let's start right there. And let's play up until the fermata. I like that. You know what I liked about that, Alice? At the very end, it made me remember that you're mortal. Because it was so heavenly before that. Oh my gosh. It's interesting. I'm really sorry, Beth, that I forgot about your pianissimo on that E before. I'm sorry, on the I can't read it, on that F before she starts that. But I love the way you colored that. I also loved how the rest of you responded to her pianissimo with the sign gesture right after that. And with all the sign gestures, they were more. I think that's really, I'm sorry, I think you should write suppressed energy there. Is that terrible? Alice, if you write it over that little triplet, four beats, that would be great. Now, according to my score, you guys, the next pianissimo is the second theme, right? Mom said to go there, Mom said to go to college. You know what I'm talking about? Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad lyric. What about that? Since it starts with the viola and the cello, let's start by asking Alex and Beth. Do you think that's an intimate, a distant, or a suppressed energy pianissimo?
I think it's intimate.
Yeah, I would say intimate.
Intimate? Great. Can we start 2 bars before that and try it intimate? The forte 2 bars before. Tootie, everybody. Sorry. Mom said go to college, right? Okay. So Alex, your name is actually Alec.
Yeah.
So I'll send you $10 because I think I said it. Sorry about that. And just now, the pianissimo that you guys, violins that you did just then, was that kind of more of a distant pianissimo, do you think? What's happening for me, you guys, is like figuring out these different types of spectacular pianissimos is impacting all the rest of the music for me. At least it's you really know it. You really know it. So maybe this could kind of be a mantra. Since there's so much very soft music in this piece, really go through and see if you can figure out, especially what the pianissimos mean to you. And maybe it will help you then understand that the pianos can't be that soft. They have to be comfortably sung. And is there even a mezzo piano in the piece? I don't know if there is.
I don't think so.
But there's some mezzo fortes for sure, right? Oh my gosh. Can you hear that? The cat is like playing. Oh, but I got to close my case. You guys, no worries. He did not pee in my case. We're safe. Oh my gosh. I'm not kidding. It was really terrifying. To this day, whenever I see Arnold Streithart, he's always like, I never got a cleaning bill from you. And this was like in 1987 or 88 or something. Anyway, just one more thing, you guys. The diminished seventh chord that's right before the recapitulation. What do you guys think of that pianissimo? Mama said to go. It's G sharp, B, D, F. You know what I'm talking about? 3 lower voices. You come in with that. Yes, thank you, Alec, my brother. Thank you. So, what do you guys think of that one? Maybe distant. What do you think? Or do you think suppressed energy? I don't know. I mean, look, you have pianissimo marked how many times in these next 12 bars? Right, at least 3 or 4 times. It might change, but you just did this terrifying, dun, dee, dun. Maybe it could start distant and then you come in, perhaps I was more intimate. I don't know. Or maybe you come in with the cool too. Do you guys have an instinct about that one?
Or within like when we have our duet bit.
I'm thinking that about 144. I feel like I still kind of feel it's quite distant.
Okay, good. Write in your part. Bam, write it in, distant. Just do it. Cool. So we have, according to my clock, Cecily, we got like 4 minutes. Oh, I like Cecily. Can there be a terrified pianissimo? Yeah, totally. That is out. It's distant, but oh my gosh, in the distance, it's terrifying. Oh my gosh, so terrifying. The other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the use of chromaticism in this piece. Every time you see an enharmonic, I want you to try I don't know what your philosophical approach to intonation is. In my quartet, we almost always try to do kind of a compromised temperament. Have you guys ever talked about your philosophy of intonation as a quartet?
In terms of making sure like the thirds is relative to the harmony, that kind of thing.
Okay. Oh, well, good. Then you definitely have. I'm proposing kind of a big Band-Aid, and there's exceptions to this, but I'm proposing that you approach linear intervals in a sort of a tempered fashion. So I'm proposing no extreme leading tones for the vertical harmonic lineup. So instead of like it'd be more like, I don't know if you could hear a difference. So that means every time you have, I want to get this right, a semitone. Did I get that right? Yeah. I was going to say a half step. I did not want to cause a War of 1812 right there. I feel like they shouldn't be always so close. I would like you to try it at least in rehearsal with this philosophy of, except for like when you're all by yourself, like for example, the triplet that you had by yourself, Alice, you could do whatever you want right there, right? And there are different ways to tune, of course, but like when you're tuning vertically, have you ever, like, you know the quartet opus 76 number 5 by Haydn? It starts like, I don't know if you that goes by so fast that of course the inner voices are playing these, I think it's, yeah. So you have to tune the fifths, obviously. But in the first violin part with the quick moving part, you can probably play with a very expressive, very extreme leading tone feel to the linear harmony. But if you're playing something really slowly where we can hear the vertical, like, Mama said to go to college, Mama said to, you might want to think a little bit more of this tempered notion. And then even when you go to play, especially anytime there's an accidental, can you hear him?
Yeah. I thought it was in the room.
He wants some supper. This happens about 8 times a day. Oh, hi, buddy. Hi, buddy. I'll show you a film of him in a second. I got a 14-second film we may just have time for, but I would try it really listening for the 2 different ways. Okay. And even when you practice, I don't know what I have to do whenever I'm going to play something in A minor or C major or F major. I usually get out the cello drones on YouTube and I'll practice passages with the cello drones, especially lately since I can't do it with somebody else to play them for me. You guys could, but and really try to listen to see if you can play the 2 different philosophies, the more extreme leading tone and the not extreme leading tone. See if you can start to feel the difference. You may discover, like you said, certain harmonies might make you feel it demands that, or certain passages because of the way it's written demands that you have to be more conscientious about the equal temperament. Does that make sense, guys? I just sort of throwing that in last time because I know it's controversial, so I don't want to talk about it for too long. I might get sued. One of you might be a lawyer or a barrister or something, you know.
I think you're safe, Mary.
Okay. Wait, Cecily, are you their coach?
No, I've never heard them play.
Oh my gosh, you guys, bravo. And I don't know if the coaches are here. I want to thank all the coaches for the great work you've done with these groups. And the groups, it's really, it's really nice. I feel like I've made more family across the globe. So I seriously hope I spend the chamber music love. I don't know if there's time. There's not time for my video, but if you look on Instagram, I posted videos of Spencer. He's kind of a miracle. Yeah.
So yeah, I think these guys, the cutoff for them playing is probably. We definitely don't want to get them evicted. It looks like they have a very nice flat.
No. Yeah. Oh, really nice. Look at the lights.
And
you guys, does anybody have any questions about anything before we part ways?
if we go,
Oh, is that a Matisse? Is that a Matisse from IKEA on the wall?
Yeah.
I have that same print in my cabin on Shelter Island. Oh my God, we are related.
So if anyone wants to pop a question, put your videos on, raise your hand. If anyone on YouTube has a question, Mark will read it out to us. I have a comment about the intonation thing, which is I'll never forget. In the early days, my quartet we thought we could do it all. We thought we could tune and make it so that we were playing in a real sort of, in expressive intonation. And we were playing a Mozart quartet in F major. And we played for Laurie Carney from the American Quartet. And she said, you guys are going to drive yourselves insane if you try to play like this. And suddenly we stopped trying to lower our thirds, and our A's were ringing in tune with our instruments, and our C's were ringing in tune with our instruments, and everyone was happy. And it was like, oh, we could have just done this for the past 2 months. Okay. But it is interesting because melodically you can afford to bend certain things, but only if it's a melodic, and if it's on top, if it's a melody line that's buried in the middle and you start trying to move things around, it gets really, that's where a lot of long quartet discussions happen. Discussions, we call them. Mary and I can call them other things because we're not in quartets anymore.
Yeah, what they really were. But actually, here's a good rule. Never work on intonation for more than 20 minutes. It's really good for the mental well-being of a string quartet.
Can we ask a question?
Yeah,
do it.
Hi. So my question on behalf of I guess a lot of young musicians here. Oh my gosh, Yoda-san.
Sorry.
So my question would be for quartets who don't have access to regular coaching, like these guys, right? Who really work alone a lot of the time. What is your advice, right, for how to proceed? Like, how do you prioritize your time best when it's just you?
That's such a good question. Clearly, whatever system you guys have in place is working. So, yeah. So whatever your coach has done with you and what you guys are doing, it's really working. I think maybe the most important thing when you're on your own is to try to really be aware of respecting one another's time. I know that sounds sort of clinical. I would recommend that you guys plan your rehearsals around what your goals are. So if you're rehearsing towards your next coaching session, or if you're rehearsing towards a performance, plan what you're going to rehearse each time you're going to rehearse before. So, if you know that next rehearsal, you're going to work on the finale of the Smetana, or in Russian, it'd be Smetana, which also means sour cream. Sorry. It's true. Anyway, and I would I would say that just plan on at the front end of rehearsal, tune. By the way, does everybody tune with a tuner?
Do you use a tuner? Actually, I think the answer is probably not so much.
I see. Well, the only reason I'm saying that is because these so-called discussions about intonation can be alleviated a lot of times if you start out by tuning your strings similarly. So I use the app and have used the app ClearTune for the last 20 some years. And I would set the app again on just tempered or tempered so that your fifths are not too wide. Okay. No? Yeah. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right.
Mas sempre a falar com uma aplicativa, mas é porque as quintas são muito, como se diz, wide, but separadas. É mais importante sempre manter as quintas mais,
Once you've tuned, you play through or play a large section of whatever it is you're going to work on in rehearsal. And then you get out your phone and you set the alarm for 10 minutes. And for 10 minutes, Santo runs the rehearsal. And everybody else tries what Santo says he wants to do as though it's their own idea. Ding, 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 time's up. So then it's Brenner's turn, and set the alarm for 10 minutes. And for 10 minutes, Brenner runs the rehearsal. And you guys try to do all the spots any way he says to do it, as though it's your own idea. Ding, 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 time's up. Gabriel, that's right. Yes. And then set the alarm, same thing. And then finally, of course, set it again for Felipe, 10 minutes. And then hopefully that will have been about a little less than an hour. If you've done the playthrough and you've each had 10 minutes, then you can figure out if there's stuff you still need to address. But I would begin and end the rehearsal by playing through music. And I would try to have a portion of the rehearsal where each of you are in control. Okay. And then you can have it be a free for all. I know that doesn't work for every group, but I think especially for a group that's not being coached like every week or twice a week, it's good to like keep making sure that you're hearing one another's ideas. Is that okay, Jennifer?
No, I was just giggling because like for here in Sao Paulo, for a lot of groups, that's like no coaching at all. Like, so, or no lessons. Like most of these guys don't have the chance to have private lessons on a regular basis. So there's a lot of like discipline. It's a different system than the States for sure.
I understand.
Or Europe. So I think I can translate all that later, but I think it's super helpful actually to think creatively about how to run rehearsals when you don't really have formation.
Well, I don't know. In the dynamic of a group, it's like a family, and you have to really make sure that everyone's being heard, whether you're talking or you're playing. And I actually might have a handout for that, which I could send you if you want.
Awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah, I have handouts because I actually teach a pedagogy course here in chamber music. And so I had to get organized. Anyway, yes, there's a rehearsal. And then I also have a handout with 20 rehearsal techniques for just different things to try in rehearsal. So if you email me, I'll respond. If I say I'm going to do it, I won't do it unless I get an email from you. Sorry, I'm not very good that way.
I will email you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
Cool.
You must have taught me that too, because that's how we ran a lot of our rehearsals.
Maybe I learned it from you, Cecily.
Who knows? We also used to do, because it can be a problem if the same person always plans the rehearsal time. So we used
no.
We used to try to alternate who had to make the plan.
I love that. I also, though, I feel like I remember hearing that you are something of a virtuoso about mapping out the pacing. Like when you guys, I feel like Tom told me when you were getting ready to finish learning all the Beethoven quartets for your cycle, that you brilliantly figured out exactly how much rehearsal time, and I don't know. That's a gift.
It was a huge, any kind of project like that, you have to have a plan for. And Ellie's probably rolling her eyes because she's my student. And she's like, all we ever hear about is planning our practice time. But we did things like we had a box with all of the movements of every single Beethoven quartet. And at the start of every rehearsal, each of us had to pick draw a slip of paper. And then we had to play that movement through. It was like, okay, you picked. And sometimes we'd pick the 4 hardest ones and we'd have to play them through. But we knew we'd have to be able to play them at any time. But planning is key. And that you guys are doing all of this on your own. I have such respect for what you're doing, and the dedication with which that you approach music and the honesty with which you play is really moving. And you guys in Manchester too, I know you're juggling things, and this term is just bizarre. I mean, we're in school, we're out of school. Oh, we can meet, we can't meet. It's and here you are, you quarantine together, you arrange your flats to be near each other, and you're able to work. So well done. really well done for everyone, and for the group at Interlochen. I know Interlochen's managed to be almost a bubble of its own, and they've had very little, if any, COVID, and it was just because the state shut down that they weren't able to play together today. But I know this has been, playing music at all and being able to participate in things like this has been a lifeline for a lot of us in this bizarre time. And I have to thank my regular listeners here too. Sarah Hauschka, thank you for being here. I know Amanda was here earlier. She's been at almost every really big class. I think we should probably wrap up for the day and give Mary. Now Mary gets to get the round of applause. So please, everyone, lots of love. I knew today would be special. And I'm just so grateful that you agreed to spend some time with us and that we were able to have really people from all over the world here. I always end the class with a little bit of a plea. I do have a plan for the new year. This is our last chamber music session of the year. We have one more violin class in 2 weeks, and then we'll be stopping for the holidays. I want to go back to weekly classes in the dark of winter, in the depths and dark of the UK winter here. I backed off of that after, people got busy again, but it's so bleak here in January, and I think we need a weekly class. So that means I have to raise money. I've updated the GoFundMe page, and if anyone is able or inspired or knows people who might be interested and you don't want to approach them yourself, I am pretty fearless with that. So send me ideas. I have sponsorship levels. I have, if someone wants to pay for 2 months, they can have a private recital with me and Mary on Jam Kazam. Maybe. I don't know. Probably doesn't work across the ocean, but I'll arrange something special. I might even get into the swag department if we think that's appealing. But I really want to keep this going. But I'm out of funds. And Yoda agrees. Pay me, you will. So that's my little thing about that. 2 weeks from today, Ertan Torgul will be teaching violin class. I'm still looking for one teenage violinist. So if anyone knows a young, up-and-coming violinist who might want to participate, send me a message. Otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you for being here at the really big class. Mary, you're a gem. Quartets, you are fantastic. Jennifer, thank you for arranging for them to play. And thank you for the Illumina Festival. I'll be plugging that on my page. So good night, good day. All that.
Bye, everybody. Be safe.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Bravo, Cecily.